Let me show you some tips and tricks for the camera on a Nothing Phone 4a and 4a Pro. The first trick that I want to show you is the dedicated macro mode, which is quite hidden by default. It might not be really intuitive to figure out how to find it. But in the photo mode, if you use 3.5x zoom, or at least 3.5x, then you can actually activate the macro mode, which is indicated with this flower, of course. You can turn on and turn off the macro mode if you want to. And if you use bigger zoom than 3.5x, then that is still fine. You should be able to use it. You can use, for example, 7x. I'm gonna also check if we can use, let's say, more than that, but no, it seems that we can use any value between 3.5x and 7x, and you should be able to use the dedicated macro mode. Besides that, the photo mode has 50 megapixels option. So if you tap on this arrow here in the upper right corner, then you should be able to find the quality option. If you tap on it, you can switch to the 50 megapixel camera. Besides that, over here we can find camera settings. So if you go to more settings, you will open camera settings in here. And if you go to the press and hold shutter, by default we use it to record a video, but you can switch it to burst shot. So then if you press and hold your finger on the shutter button, you should be able to capture up to 20 photos at most. So let's see if it's going to work. It says that burst shot is unavailable in this mode for some reason. So in your case, if it says that, you want to make sure that 50 megapixels is actually not activated. So then you can press and hold your finger to capture up to 20 photos at the same time. Of course, you can pause at any moment. Besides that, if we go to the more section, over here we can find the expert mode, which is the pro mode. And then over here in expert, we can find the raw capture. So you can capture raw photos over here quite easily. If you wish to take a selfie photo or just a picture of someone with a blurred background, then of course we can go to the portrait mode. And then over here on the right side, we have the blur effect that we can easily adjust by moving left and right. And it works for both the front camera and the rear camera. Going back to the standard photo mode, over here we can also find the tuning option, which allows you to make some adjustments to the photo before it is taken. For example, we can adjust the contrast, saturation, warmth, tint, we can sharpen, grain, or apply vignette. And there we go. And the last thing that I want to show you is in video mode. Over here, if we tap on this arrow again, we can easily toggle a recording light indicator. So usually if you start recording a video, there is that indicator at the back that indicates, of course, that you are recording a video, which you can just turn off if you don't want it to be displayed. And there is also one small bonus trick for Pro users. So if you have 4a Pro, then you can activate the glyph mirror, which is used over here. So we have like a small little preview of the camera displayed over here. So technically the person that we are trying to photograph, or, you know, well, usually it is for people, of course, because objects cannot really determine or they don't really care if we take a picture of them or something. But I guess for people, if you take a picture of them, then you can slightly tell what is going on the camera. Of course, we have just a couple of pixels in here, so it might not be really that helpful most of the time, but still, it's a pretty cool gimmick. And that is pretty much it. Leave a like and subscribe.